Es tiempo.
Okay. Yeah, I'm all good. We're all good to go. So is it just the chess.com screen that you're sharing at the moment, or have you got the Welsh Esports League page up? You don't have to. Just the Premiership bracket probably be best. Or Champion Elimination or Premier Elimination, whichever one of those is probably the best thing to start with, and then we'll just switch to the game as well. Yeah, that's only just finished though, hasn't it? So it doesn't matter too much.
We all knew what it was going to be.
We all knew what it was going to be. All right, so yeah, I guess we'll start on the champion elimination if that's okay, Kashi, because that's we've got Lightbringer here, so it makes sense to talk with him.
Oh, you're too kind.
60 seconds feels like a long time.
It does, doesn't it?
It's alright. I've told my wife it feels like a long time as well. And excellent. Welcome to the final rounds of the Welsh Esports League. A little bit late starting here, but we have got it all sorted now. Games have been played, and the final match of the Season 10 chess for the Welsh Esports League is happening as we speak, by two extremely strong players bidding for first and second spot. Before we move into that, though, we have two different brackets that are played for. We have the Championship bracket, which is played for spots 5, 6, 7, and 8. And joining me, my name is FIDE Master John from Blackburn, is of course Lightbringer. Welcome, Lightbringer.
Hello. How's everyone going? Yes, it's happened. It was good fun. It feels like I only just finished World 9, and now just think that I've just finished 10 as well is insane.
It's crazy, isn't it? The new year happened, and all of a sudden, I think Slayer John was messaging me saying, "Oh yeah, we're starting chess in a few days' time." I'm just like, what?
It came out of nowhere.
It came out of nowhere, but of course we've got here Lightbringer, who was playing for the Goats this season again. He's been an absolute revelation find, and made it through to the final of the Championship bracket. How did you find that?
The Championship bracket or the entire thing?
You can do both if you want.
Well, in the past, the games there was some hit and miss games. There were some silly blunders. If you saw my Instagram or anything like that, you would have seen there's a good few silly mistakes and things like that. But we had some strong games. We had some less strong games. The Championship went well, as you'd expect when you put an underdog against a FIDE master. But he had to stop. He had to think. I think there was there was mistakes, but there was some good moves. There was some good ideas. So it was great fun. It was a great experience, and I hope that one day maybe I can play Welsh Tiger again, and maybe even give him a run for his money.
Yeah, and do a little bit better. But to be honest, though, it's all about gaining experience for you at the moment. So with a massive rating difference there, I mean, even if somebody was rated 1500, 1600, then it's still going to be really, really tough for you. So you did really well there. But obviously, we're here. Your match is finished. So the Welsh Tiger has taken that 5th spot, as expected, to be fair. But you've got some good games there, and I think you were saying before as well, like, where else would you get to play against a FIDE master as well? And so it's a great experience for you. But moving on to the Premiership bracket, which is taking place right now. We've got the Artists against the Sea Dragons. What was your feelings about this match last week, Lightbringer?
Artists against Sea Dragons. I thought it was going to be a very close. I've actually got a chance to play both Bulanov and Ifan RJ, and it was they're strong players. I found they played it was almost a bit differently. I felt I got different experiences from both games, which is great. Obviously, Bullenov's been subbed out for this one because he's unavailable, and we've got Pedrada, who I haven't played, but I'm aware that he is a monster on a chessboard. So yeah, I was really excited to see this pairing, and just getting a bit of experience to see how these master level players play chess, especially online in Blitz, where everything's so much tighter already. Mistakes will be happening, and people will miss things, and you'll be able to tell me everything that I miss as well. So it's a great combination.
Well, I don't know about that. Well, we'll try our best. I mean, obviously Bullenov took through the Sea Dragons last week against the Pit Ponies. Was it Marine who he played in a really close matchup? Ethan RJ had a little easier matchup against Decode of the Wizards, although Decode's no pushover at all, and so you've got these two players coming through. So yeah, big story of the final is that Bullenov couldn't make it as an emergency substitute. Pedrada, last season's winner, comes in as an emergency substitute to represent the Sea Dragons. You could not make this up. It's an absolutely kind of massive final. I bet Ethan RJ was thinking he was preparing for Bullenov, and now he's got Pedrada. It must be a bit difficult for him psychologically to adjust to that. But, chess is chess. I mean, if we definitely let's dive in and have a look at how it's going so far, because we did have a few issues in some of the rematching after the first game, and I don't know what's gone on there. And we worked perfectly fine. Well, I want to say perfectly fine, but most of the time it's been fine for the group stages and the semi-finals. And then for the first time, just while we're trying to set up the stream, we had some issues. So apologies about the delay in the stream for everybody.
I do just want to say, though, when I entered the command against my game just now, it was fine. So...
yeah. I don't know if it's to do with if somebody's playing on a mobile phone rather than a laptop, perhaps. That could cause a bit of an issue.
Do we have mobile players?
Yeah, well, I think we do, but I think that's just how most people play. I mean, for example, if you were to ask me how I normally play online, actually, I normally play on my phone. I mean, for example, I'm here on my laptop now, but I don't even have a mouse to use. And trying to move quickly with a touchpad is a nightmare. You can't do it.
That's true. I've lost many a bullet game to a touchpad. So
yeah, I mean, it's just impossible to do so. But okay, let's look at the chess and see what's actually happened so far. So first of all, I'm actually going to go back here, actually, because we need to go back. I mean, we can't leave this at the moment. We're going to have a look back at game one, and after this game is finished, Pedrada took game one. I don't even know how yet, Lightbringer. I mean, we were actually trying to set up the stream as it happened. It looked like Ethan RJ was winning that game. He was a piece up. It was a sacrifice by Pedrada. Did you see what happened?
Well, I was watching it, and again, it was all happening. They were both on very low time. So we're talking like 8 seconds, 9 seconds one side, 15 seconds the other side, with even RJ having the time advantage as well. And I was watching, and all of a sudden, I just heard a bunch of clack noises to the point where my chess.com wasn't updating as fast as they were making moves. So clearly a lot of pre-moves, a lot of good things were happening. Also, the queens were swapped off, all the pieces came off, and then Pedrada just had more pawns in an endgame, and just that was it. The game ended. And it went from a position where I was like, surely Ethan RJ clutches this up, and no, that was it. It just ended. So I'm not really sure what happened. At one point, I thought Ethan RJ was about to win a rook, but I might have missed something, because again, everything happened so quickly. It's like, oh, hang on, it looks like he skewered the rook, and then all of a sudden he moves his queen. I was like, okay, I've either missed something, or I'm better than a candidate master. So
well, one of the two. I mean, you can definitely claim that, can't you? I mean,
maybe one day,
maybe one day. And then they tried to rematch for game two, which didn't seem to work for some reason. So I tried to automatically start it at game two with a fresh command, and it started for one of them, but the other one couldn't see where it was. So even though Ethan RJ's got a 1 next to his name here, that's not actually going to count, because I was messaging both players, trying to get it started, and it was just basically a run out of time for 5 minutes. So that game is not accurate. So they're going to send challenges now in the future if it's not quite working. So Ethan RJ or Pedrada has sent the challenge. So Ethan's back on white. Ethan was black in the first game. Ethan's white here. And what on earth is happening here, Lightbringer? Can you try and tell me what's going on here? I don't know.
I mean, there is a lot going on, and clearly Pedrada's got probably more ideas than I'll be able to have in this situation. And
this is crazy. There's a pawn about to promote, and he's just exposed to some checks. Maybe Pedrada's going to bail out with a perpetual check here. I don't know. I think he's going to go like Queen F2, Queen F3, perpetual check. So that's what I've got my money on.
That might be it. That's why I mean, if I was obviously playing an IM or a CM in this case, I'd definitely be doing that. But
I think he's going to be a bit gutted about this, because he was an exchange up here. So they're going to send a fresh challenge and hopefully rematch. So I just need to double check that happens. But just as we go back, I'm just going to skip back to this point here. Good, they've rematched. Okay, but we're going to go back and have a look at that game. Now that they're playing, good. So that's fantastic. We'll join game 3 in a second. So they've just halved out, so nobody's going to get whitewashed, which I was not expecting from this. I mean, look at the ratings of both players. Pedrada's the highest rated over the board in Wales, period, at the moment. Ethan RJ has got a higher online rating than Pedrada, which is just crazy.
That's Blitz for you, right?
It's online Blitz. He is a good online player, and he's clicked. Hang on, what happened here? I said Bishop B5 check again. I didn't even see this at the start. These sneaky little things coming in. Free bishop. Is that a free bishop, Lightbringer?
No, you don't. You just win back the bishop then. On the dark square bishop, right?
Yeah, the dark square bishop, which then stops you from castling, which is really good. So bishop d7 takes, and okay, they get into this kind of little position where black's maybe. I think Pedrada's probably got the better opening, and we saw this last week actually, that Ethan's white opening was not really promising much from it, and I did say that he might have to. Be a bit more expansive. I would have liked here maybe a little h5 here just to attack this knight. The knight on g3 is not very well placed at the moment, but maybe it just comes a little bit too slow. And we see some moves being played. I'm going to whiz through here because we've got so much to catch up on. And then I think here it was just a blunder by Ethan. He played rook d1 and just walked into a fork of knight c3, and you see the rook and queen both under attack. But then he makes the most of it, and this is what you have to do in chess. It doesn't always go right for you, as I found out this morning in my over-the-board game and tournament. You have to be resourceful. You have to find the best way, making it as hard as possible for your opponent. And here he's able to throw in this intermezzo check and take the knight back, and he's kind of maybe even winning a second pawn here. And it just makes it just that. So here, for example, very easy to do queen takes pawn and say, right, well, I've got 2 pawns for it. This could be a mistake, because if he's able to swap off queens, there's no danger to the black king, which is very exposed. And actually, he's got a good chance of winning rook b knight, even though the knight's got 2 pawns with it. Although that's probably still an okay move. And here we see this crazy thing where this d pawn is just super, super strong. And Pedrada has to bail out with a perpetual check here in the end to get the draw. So absolutely amazing game. Let's just go back and have a look at... so just to double check, so this was the game that was null and void. Nobody actually won that one because it didn't get started. And game 1 though, what on earth happened? So this is the one that we want to see. So I mean, clearly Pedrada's won this at the end, but what actually happened? So I'm going to whiz through these moves. Another London system. Bullenov will be proud of this. So there's a little thing here, like queen here. Knight d6 check is threatened because the pawn would be pinned, because the queen would be looking at the king. Nice little idea. And here's around here that Pedrada starts to get a little bit silky with some of his moves. Knight comes in, he wins a pawn here, and the pawn can't take because he'd lose the rook, so he's ahead. But then he decides here at this point he could have played rook h2. Oh no, he couldn't play rook h2 here, could he? Because the queen on c7 is on it. So maybe this is why he had to. Maybe he felt forced, because, I mean, he can play rook g1, but I guess after pawn takes knight, rook takes bishop, the big problem is that you allow this rook to then come down to h1 check on your king, and maybe he didn't want to allow that. So he decided to sack. And I thought Ethan was just about surviving here. What happened? So I saw it around this point here, after bishop f4, these ideas. Like, is this looking good for black? This looks pretty good for black to me. b2, there's a pawn.
Black, yeah.
There's a pawn about to queen, which is going to claim the bishop. The bishop's stopping it, but the rook gets behind it. What, does he just lose the pawn or something? Oh, he just loses it. So the pawn on b2, it went too far, too quickly. And Pedrada just mopped it up, and that was it. And then he tried to do all these checks. And he can't take the rook because of checkmate. Oh, very unfortunate.
That's what I wasn't looking at. I just saw the rook. I would have just taken that. I'd be like, yeah, free rook.
And this is just good play by Pedrada. He just swaps off pieces here, takes the bishop at the end, and that's game over. An easy endgame for Pedrada to win. 3 pawns connected. No chance for even RJ. But okay, he got half a point on the board in game 2. So these guys are just going to be rematching now. So let's pick it up at game 3, see where we're at the moment. I could go back to the start, but we're here live in this position. Pedrada playing with the white pieces. Ethan RJ with his 2 knights as the black pieces here. Lightbringer, any thoughts on this position right now?
Well, I mean, it's an interesting one for to say the least. If we go over kind of the beginner thoughts that I'd be having at this point, which I think is fair. I mean, Queen D3 would definitely be something I'd be thinking about to try and get myself right next to that king. I think that's nice, but obviously, the knight can come in to stop it. There's a couple little things like, the center looks a bit open for white, and then obviously there's a lot of opportunities, but now there was the checkmate threat just there, which that pawn push stops really nicely. It's probably moves that you won't see in my rating are these little pawn moves that look really not random, but don't really like do anything when they have a whole multitude of ideas. I'm sure Pedrada's got a plan. I'm sure he's got some solid ideas. I'd even be looking, to try and swap off some rooks and eventually, and try and just get myself into a nice end game. But again, it's very early to tell, and especially for someone like me who doesn't get to see these high quality games that often.
Yeah, I mean, this is a classic one though. Black is actually a pawn up, and you can see actually has still both his central pawns on the board in this position. But in exchange for that pawn up, white has got the 2 bishops. And before this pawn came forward to d4. I was actually thinking, these 2 bishops just looked absolutely raking down at that black king. But to be fair to even RJ, he's actually managed it quite well. He's basically said, I'll try and block off some of the dark squares, and I'll just leave mine to cover the light squared weaknesses near my king. And here he's gone and sacked a pawn back to relieve the tension. And you know what? If Pedrada's not careful, he could end up here where he just stays a pawn down. And if the attack comes to nothing, he's going to have to make sure that bishop pair that he's got that looks so potentially dangerous, which will still carry over into as the game progresses. He's not going to get rid of them. Excuse me. They could be really good long term, but it might only just win him a pawn back. I don't think it's going to win in the game. I think advantage black here. Which is why you see Pedrada play this move rook e4. I think he's getting a little desperate. I think the rook's coming across to g4 or h4. Anywhere, one of these 2 squares, he's going to put the rook to try and come forward. I think Evan's really happy in this position right now.
Yeah, no, it's definitely an interesting one. And we're talking about the strong bishops as well, obviously, but the knights as well, to me, for black, look really, really strong and could probably come in and do some scary things. I mean, and that D pawn is just going nowhere, and I think that might end up becoming something quite important. Hopefully later down the line. Hopefully I'm right.
Yeah,
I might be an idiot.
It's crazy though, right? I mean, like the knights actually are fantastic blockaders of pawns, which you see them both in front of pawns at the moment. I think actually black might even be able to take both of these pawns here. But you see here, Evan's not rushing to take these pawns back. He wants to make sure that his king's safe first. So first of all, he got out of the fact that the bishop could have taken the pawn on h6 when the king was on g8, so he moved his king across again. Pedrada's like, I need to go after the king, because positionally, Pedrada is not doing well here. This would level up the match as well if Ethan wins this, and Ethan there goes. He's gone for a second pawn. Oh, actually, no, he's gone for the first pawn because he sacked it back, didn't he? So he's back to being a pawn up. But no, the thing is about taking the pawns is that sometimes your opponent's pawns can block it. So I kind of had this image of this king walking away over here with the 2 white pawns still on his c5 and e5. That would have been quite a fun plan. But Evan's gone a different way. He said, right, I'm going to mop these pawns up. 2 pawns up now. Unless I'm getting mated, I've got to win game. I think that's quite risky. I don't know about you.
Well, I mean, I personally might not have rushed to take the pawns. Again, I'm much lower rated, so the ideas are probably a lot stronger from these 2 players. But if the pawns aren't really going anywhere, and there's not really anything that white could have done to really save them, even if he could only save one but not the other, I feel like maybe it's better to try and improve and get attack. Obviously, long term, very beneficial, get those pawns off the board and start figuring a way to win the game. But I might have left him just a little bit longer till I had some more ideas. But then again, we'll see what happens. The rook's stacking up, staring right at the king, so it's scary.
I know, it is scary, isn't it? I mean, first of all, it was the bishop's looking down on both of these diagonals. He's shifted the bishop. Notice how the bishop was doing nothing on this diagonal because the d pawn was blocking it. He shifted it to c1 to help out, and now he's stacking the rooks up to actually come down here. I mean, this is absolutely, I can't see a way through though, but then again, you see this white pawn that was on c5 here. It also means that bishop a3 is now a check as well. So I'm not so sure whether removing that pawn was actually the right idea, and he's going to have to be very careful here because Pedrada, even though he's only got 30 seconds left, he is somebody that is well... Oh, what's happened there? Oh, nice little tactic by Pedrada. Oh, yeah, it does work. Tactic by Pedrada alert. 30 seconds left. He sees everything. And what even missed was that after knight takes, then Pedrada can swap queens. And then he can do rook takes f7, check, and then he wins the knight back at the end. Because even though he lost the bishop at the start, swapping queens, and then he wins the knight back at the end after taking not just one pawn, but 2 pawns. That would level things back up and actually be advantage for Pedrada if he goes for that variation, because the 2 bishops would be better than the 2 knights. Or sorry, it'll be 1 bishop against knight there. I think in this position there were pawns on both sides of the board, the centre completely open. The bishop would be a little bit better than the knight in this. So Ethan's missed something there. Maybe he's got a minute and a half to think. What is his best continuation here? What would you play as black here?
I was thinking, I don't know, rook takes isn't really ideal for me. I think getting the queens off the board is quite helpful for white at this. I had a little tip yesterday from my good friend Bun of where if you've got less space, which it looks like at this point white does, trading is good. I've heard. Often, not always, obviously, but regularly.
I don't think white had less space here. I think the problem was that black's king was under attack. So this was a different situation. So black was happy to get the queens off there because black's king was potentially going to get mated in some variations. The 2 rooks, the 2 bishops looking down on it, whereas white's king was never really in any danger. So the queen exchange favoured Ethan. He's also stayed a pawn up as well with that simple capture. But I think the likely outcome at the moment is this is likely to be a draw. Ethan's going to try and win this. I don't know if that's a mistake there by Pedrada, actually. Rook e3, did he miss that fork? Has he missed? Oh, he's not going to lose, though. He's fine. Oh, no, he's not. He's not fine. I thought he might be fine. He's not. This could be it. He's going to have to sack the exchange. It's his only choice now, and Ethan's got him right where he wants him. Pedrada is in big, big trouble here. This could be an easy victory now. Okay, well, is that a free bishop now? I think that is. So, I think Pedrada might be giving it up now.
Wow, what a so strong resourceful game for me for RJ, though. That's
yeah. I mean, this would level the matchup. So I just need to make sure that they both understand that the time one is going to be void. So I just want to message them both.
No, of course.
Just when this game's finished, just to make sure that they're clear. As well. So if you see me looking down, just fill for me.
I'll do my best. I was going to say earlier as well, when we saw that really nice tactic from Pedrada, I was like, maybe this shows the strong difference between our IMs and our CMs and stuff like that. But it shows in Blitz as well. Anything can happen, right?
No. I mean, to be honest, in Blitz online, it's just so difficult to actually, even count this. And I don't know. I expected more from Pedrada. I think it was a little sloppy, actually. I think if we go back here, so after knight c2, maybe Pedrada assumed that he'd have rook e7 when he's attacking the black rook on d7, so therefore the bishop can't get taken. But here, Ethan's got rook d1 check, and he can swap rooks on f1 before taking the bishop back. So this was maybe perhaps what he wanted, but this is where we are at the moment. And okay, hopefully we're live. Okay, so let me just refresh our coverage as well. So, Ethan should win this fairly comfortably. But you know what? You never say never.
No, that's what we thought in the last game as well.
Yeah, I mean,
the first game.
Even's down to under 30 seconds, right? And Pedrada, he can be very resourceful. So we're going to see now just how easy does Even win this. I mean, he's very good at moving quickly, but notice how he's put all his pieces backwards. He's gone a bit defensive, and Pedrada's just going to try and cause as many issues as possible. Doesn't know when he's beaten, and he's just going to try and drum up something out of nothing. And here we have a little threat. Now he's got a mate threat. You notice how he's able to create these things out of nowhere, and now he's got his rooks doubled on the 2nd rank or 7th rank. This is causing some problems for Even. He wants to win this game. Hang on, that's not quite drawing, is it? No, it's not. Not yet. He's got his king away, but he did not want to have to allow this at all. This was very risky. There's a mate threat now. In fact, that's actually difficult to stop. How is he stopping that mate threat on the second go? Is it going to be? Well. It's not going to be a repetition. No. Has he not saved this game? Has he saved it? How has he saved this game? Oh my god!
That is. If you can't win, don't lose. I guess, right?
This is mental. What is going on? What? How?
I can't believe what's just happened. After the fork, I'm gonna be honest, I thought Pedrada was done for, but clearly.
What is going on? What is going on? This is I'm just
baffled.
I am absolutely baffled. That is just what? How did he manage to do that? I mean,
felt like a mix of some amazing chess and also just a lot of a good few slips as well. But that happens with Blitz, isn't it?
I mean, it was just like what? I mean, he had no right to draw that game. Absolutely no right whatsoever. Let's go back to the key moment. So we'll get to the end game. So we had this tactic, and then here he missed this knight c2 move, which and here, like for example, he could have gone a rook for a bishop down, but instead, what Pedrada does is so rook f1 here would be the obvious move, and after takes. The reason why he didn't go for this endgame, even though it's technically a better endgame, a rook and pawn against the bishop, massively winning for black here. But the problem is you can't really create much counterplay with a bishop, and it's very easy for the rook. The rook will just come down and mop up these pawns, and it's actually fine. So what he decides to do is just go, do you know what? I'll just give away an entire piece. And maybe in hindsight, maybe knight takes rook might have been an easier win. But the entire piece, this should still be very easy to win. He starts to create some threats, loses the b pawn. Then it's a case of he kind of like gets himself pinned on this d file. The knight can come back though, right? It's nothing that bad, but he just constantly attacks, and black's pieces start to go backwards. Then he starts to create some problems by saying, do you know what? I'm going to get a passed pawn here. This should still be fine. I mean, why is this rook coming backwards?
Sorry, punch the microphone.
I mean, maybe even here, rook c2, for example, and actually just going after the white king might be the best move, but it is difficult to do. I guess rook g3 might come in then. He's gone completely defensive. 20 seconds on the clock, and he just doesn't quite get it right. And then here, this is where Pedrada starts to make some inroads. And I think he unfortunately has to play knight h5 here to defend the pawn on g7. And then actually that knight can't be attacked from what I can see. So that would have been the way. So if he plays knight h5 here, white can't actually get at that knight. So that would be a... Can you hear me, Luke?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, sorry, my headphones just went a bit weird for a second.
Oh, it's all right.
Kicked a cable.
No, I know. I hate it when that happens. but here, knight h5, would mean that he wouldn't be given any chances. It attacks the rook on g3 at the same time. We're going to do rook takes b5 next. And then we've got a knight and a pawn on this side of the board and time to win it. We can also bring this other rook across to g5 if need be. That would have been the winning move, but instead he goes g5. And as soon as this move is played, if you do this, especially at the start of the game, this is moving the pawn in front of your king is really bad. But even here in the endgame, he pays the price for it. Rook c3 was instantly played, threatening a back rank checkmate, kind of with this rook helping, or the rook roller checkmate, or the ladder checkmate, whichever way you want to describe it. Forces the rook back, and then rook down here. Again, the threat is perpetual check on all of these squares, and actually he's a little fortunate to save it here. You could have easily seen white win this. That is an amazing save by Pedrada. He had no right to do that, and I'm feeling for Ethan RJ at the moment. What do you think is going through Ethan's head right now?
Have you seen? I'm sure you've seen that clip of Magnus slamming the table against Gukesh. That's. I'm gonna assume that's similar kind of emotion. But it's still it's 2-1. There's still chance. And getting an IM to a position where you have to draw must be quite good for.
Well, I mean, I don't think he even sees it that way.
Oh, well, we'll see, I guess. I mean, I'd be happy.
I would be absolutely fuming. I'd be absolutely fuming if that happened to me, because he had what we would say was quite an easily won game. As in, you just need to be a little bit precise, not allow any counterplay, and actually your extra piece will win it for you. An extra piece in our games. I mean, I was up an extra piece in my second game today earlier on. My opponent didn't resign. I was just like, what's going on? He's playing on for a little bit and delaying my journey home. But here, at this level, to come back from a piece down, that is an absolute. Ethan's got to really come back from this psychologically as well, because he's in for a tough one if that keeps happening as well.
Yeah, I'll say the same thing that Marine said to me in my chat as I was prepping for the game, which is don't worry about psychology, play the board, you'll be fine. Doesn't always work, as my game's proof. But I mean, in this case, he's still got a good couple of games. He's still got a point. It could still be anyone's game.
Oh, he's not happy about playing an IM. He wants to win. He's not in awe of the IM at all. The one thing that I was speaking to another FM trying to become an IM, and he says, well, the one thing that you have to do when you play against IMs or the next level up than you, don't give them any respect. Do not respect them. As soon as you start respecting somebody too much, you start to be a little bit more defensive, or you think that their pieces can do more than your pieces. You can't give them respect. Of course, you can't go too far in that way and just show them no respect whatsoever. But you have to back yourself. And I know that Ethan definitely backs himself here against Pedrada. But what's going on in this game?
It's an interesting position, isn't it? It's it feels a bit slow right now, but I think there's definitely some good opportunities. A couple of repeated checks already, which I always sat there as like, if they've repeated moves 25 moves in when nothing's really happened, I'm just gonna leave and call it a night. Like, good night, guys. That was fun.
Yeah, it's a bit stodgy, isn't it, at the moment? I mean, it's not completely normal. I mean, for example, Ethan's King's here on G2 with his pawns quite far advanced, right? And here you see Pedrada just starting to soften them up a little bit. But do these advanced pawns, do they give Ethan a bit more of an attacking platform against Black's King, or do they expose his own king quite a lot? I'm just going to go back through the opening because I did criticise Ethan's openings last week to say that he wasn't really getting much from them. And did he start E4 last week? I don't think he did. I think this is a bit of a new move. Maybe he's playing his main opening. I'm pretty sure he plays D4 normally. So
I was going to say, I think he played D4 against me.
Yeah, so here, obviously, this was Pedrada playing the Petrov, but Ethan playing the... Okay, so Pedrada's played the true Petrov, and he gets the bishop pair for white here, but black gets a decent position, and I mean, for example, he's not really got much space here. There's no white pawn in any of these red squares, like the black pawn in the centre. Even though white's got the bishop pair, it's not. It's not. I mean, and G4 here was really lashing out there. And okay, like you said, bit of repetition here, but Ethan refused the repetition. Pedrada is basically saying to him here, do you know what? I'm black against you. I'm 2-1 up. I'll take a draw. Yeah. He's happy. He's happy for that. So, we get through to this position, and okay, Ethan's doubled up, and we've had some pieces exchanged, and this is where we're at the moment. What is going on here?
There's a lot of thoughts, a lot of ideas that they'll hopefully never play because they're mine. But there's this. It feels really interesting. I was just thinking when we talk about the opening, like you said, he normally plays D4. Do we think maybe we're at the point, obviously, 2 draws in, and like you said, Ethan's probably not very happy. Do we think maybe he's trying to get Pedrada out of some prep, maybe, or Do you think Pedrada's been preparing to play Ethan? At this kind of high level, you said people are preparing for their games. So
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put it past either of them to have put some heavy prep in. I mean, Ethan found out obviously he wasn't playing Bulanov a couple of days ago, so he did have some time to prepare for Pedrada, and so maybe he did so. But then again, you just don't know what's going on in somebody's life at that moment in time as well.
True.
It could be, it could be like 10 hours of preparation, or it could be nothing. We just don't know what goes on, and especially when if you sit down across the board from somebody, you don't know how prepared they are for that game, and you just have to assume the worst for yourself. Always assume the worst. Always assume your opponent is fully prepped for you. Although sometimes you can read their body language and know that they just you can do the little trick, especially if you're playing over the boards, where you go, you sit down, you're trying to sign the score sheet, you write your name, you go, oh, what's your name? Sorry, as if you don't know who they are. Sneaky stuff like this.
Mind games at all. What level do you think players start initially preparing for their opponents? Because obviously, in the tournaments that I'm fortunate enough to go to, we don't know until a couple hours before our game. So, what level do you think people start preparing?
I mean, you mentioned there a couple of hours before the game. I mean, I played 2 games over the board today, and in the lunchtime, I only had 45 minutes. 40 minutes of that was spent eating food and going to the toilet or whatever. The other 5 minutes is all I could spend was loading up my laptop and searching for my opponent to see if he had any games on. And I would have probably turned up 10 minutes late for my game if I could have prepared a bit, but you didn't have any games, so I was like, right, I don't need to prepare anything, so
just crack on.
So just crack on with it. But yeah, like people at every single game, people were preparing for, and if I was in the Welsh Esports, if I was playing, I'd be preparing for my opponents as well. I'd be looking at their online games. I'd be having a look at their openings. I'd be making sure that I had a plan for a specific opponent. How do they like to play? Especially, for example, players like Welsh Tiger, Bulanov, Pedrada. Even I've played these guys loads of times. Even Marine played as well a couple of times too. Over the board, and kind of translate that to what they do in online differently. So we know each other's styles. Quite a lot of us do, and it's there's a lot of preparation going on. What are we trying to achieve? And here, look at the time advantage, Lightbringer. Is this a bit of a theme?
We've seen it a lot, but we still managed to see Pedrada, come out of these situations as well. So it's interesting. I wonder what's going through both players. Maybe Pedrada's hoping that he can make up for the time later, and he's trusting his instincts later on in the game. I was very curious about G6 just now. I was thinking that move to me.
Yeah,
I mean,
the rook wasn't there, so the rook would take the knight if the pawn took it. But obviously Black shored it up there. But this pawn, like we said before, even took a bit of a risk playing G4 early on in the game. And now he's using this pawn as a bit of a battering ram just to soften up the Black king here. Obviously, his own king isn't exactly super safe. But the way the pieces are situated at the moment, Black can't really get to White's king at the moment. We can't get to Black's king either, to be honest. So we're really seeing this kind of dynamic of this bishop versus knight. Can the knight find a decent outpost to launch, stay on? And if it can, then I think Pedrada's going to be okay here. But swapping rooks might help him. There's a famous kind of. Do you know what the saying is about queen and knight versus queen and bishop, Lightbringer? Do you know this?
Well, I know what you mean by it, but I don't think I've ever heard of any ideas behind it, or if there's one that's better than the other. I mean, you'd assume that queen and bishop would be better normally, but depends on the situation, I guess, and the pawns on the board.
I have heard some recent thing about queen and bishop being okay, but the general theme is that queen and knight work together really well compared to queen and bishop. But for example, for a checkmating attack, the knight can't move like the queen, and the queen can't move like the knight. So therefore, together, combined, they're really difficult to stop. But the difference here is that, Ethan RJ's nicked a pawn on a5 here, which could prove crucial. But the knight and the queen combo are extremely dangerous. If they start getting in the king, for example, he's gone knight c5 here. I was thinking queen e3 and bringing the knight into here. But maybe there was some perpetual checks that he wanted to stop from the white queen here, which is why he's gone king h7, preventing this being a check, and then taking this pawn check afterwards on the diagonal would have made it a draw. So Pedrada here is trying to break through. He's trying to crash through here. D3, what? Is that giving away a pawn just to crash through?
That's what.
Yeah, I mean, look at this now. Look at this knight. You see, the knight wants to go to here, and it's
really trying to cause some problems, isn't he? He's really trying to.
Well, and also, it's like, how many times have you lost to a knight fork?
Yeah. We're not talking about me here. We're talking about other people, right?
Yeah, but when you're new, what's the worst thing to do?
Oh no, it's awful. I mean, I lost to a night fork. I think I haven't even lost to a night fork just now.
Right, there we go. So
maybe not. We'll talk about that.
So when you're low on time, it's so difficult to play against against the knight. But here we have this endgame where Evans managed to snag a pawn. He managed to swap queens off earlier a few moves ago, which has really suited him. But can he hang on to all of these pawns? And I don't think this is winning for white. I think this is drawn.
I was going to say, I'd be quite worried about a lot of different things. I mean, especially if somehow he can wrangle his knight to b3 or somewhere like that, and both the pawns are going to be in a bit of a tricky situation.
Yeah. So if the knight was here, you're saying it can attack both of them at the same time.
That's
the bishop would have to be here, wouldn't it?
Idea. That's the only place he can go. But then, then there's ideas that you can come in and try and pester that knight, that bishop away. I mean, if I was playing this, I'd probably blunder it, but we'd probably I probably could get myself to a draw. I'm notoriously bad at end games. I've recently discovered ages ago.
Everybody is though when they start. Everybody's.
But it's something that I feel is clear.
Oh, he's won a pawn. He's nicked a pawn. So the good thing is that Pedrada's pawns are all on light squares here, and he just won a pawn by a fork. The bishop and pawn were under attack. Couldn't go bishop d2 because the knight also attacked that square. So he's nicked one back, and this just might give him hope, even more hope to draw this. But this pawn's actually quite quick, especially with him being able to hit the pawn on g7. So I'm wondering how this is going to play out. Whether the time that it took Pedrada to take that pawn has actually worked or not, I'm not sure it has actually. And this knight is actually stuck right now. He's got a big danger of this knight being trapped in. In fact, I think it would be if the king comes back here, the knight goes to e2, bishop to b2. The knight would have only to go back to g1 as it's square to move to. This could be the knight could be trapped in, but also he's got to worry about this pawn coming forward. He's not gone for the knight, he's gone for the pawns. And Pedrada's trying to create as many problems as possible, but Ethan again looking good on time. Minute and a half even. This could be crucial. I think he can convert this. F7 check. That looks it, right? Is that it?
Must be surely, right?
That's it. He can't stop this and this. He has to give the knight, and he still can't stop it.
Wow,
that's it. Back to 2-2.
How exciting.
I know, amazing game from Ethan RJ. And you know what? In the middle of this game, he was, he was repeating for a time, right? He was repeating in probably quite an equal position. And he's played on, been brave with his pawns, and even though he lost the pawn in this endgame, that he was able to march through on the king side, and these two connected pawns on the end, paid dividends for him. So fair play to Ethan there. I've got to give it to him. That's a fantastic game actually.
It's also I think quite maybe an educational one, especially. It's quite great that we get to see these games go all the way into the end game. So for anyone new watching, you're basically getting a master class in your opening, your middle game, and your end game just by supporting your favorite Welsh players. So it's really good. I think, and it's also nice to see Ivan come in with a win now. He's probably, fists in the air. I think I would be at this point, especially after getting pushed into 2 draws. I think, it's probably quite a good feeling right now. And it also means a more interesting stream, a longer stream, more chess, right? Which is good.
I'm just messaging because I think Ethan's just... I'm just relaying some messages because they've just been asked for a 5-minute break, and it is the final, and it is 2-2. So I'm just going to see. I think they might need to. One of them maybe needs to nip to the loo or something like that. So maybe we can just kind of review kind of what's happened.
Go for it.
I mean, we've got this match obviously really onto on a knife edge at 2-2, but there was a different match that happened earlier on tonight. It wasn't a Lightbringer that wasn't 2-2.
Yes, there was a really, really tough for the opponent, obviously.
Which game was the best? Obviously, you got 5-0 whitewashed by the Tiger, but you're giving up how many even rating points even is that? It's like
I got nothing, and I lost nothing. I lost 0, and Welsh Tiger gained 0. I don't use my chess.com account at all, so it's it's by the by on this. I don't use it for Blitz at all ratings, because
Which game's the best? Which game's the best? Do you think you did the best in?
I think probably the game I enjoyed most was probably the last game. Even though I then blundered mate in the most horrible way possible. I think I had a couple what ended up being bad ideas, but I think it might show.
Okay, so this is good. You're playing aggressive, so you get the Sicilian on the board. You play the Smith-Morrie Gambit. He refuses and plays d5, and then so is Bishop d3 the main move there?
I can't really remember.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think I played d3. Just because I was like, I get the queen's a bit.
The Tiger's happy with this, you see. Your queen's just getting attacked all over, and he's going to do these moves.
Oh yeah,
so has that little bit of an advantage out the opening, and the bishop comes to attack the queen with tempo. Notice how you were playing white. You've got only 2 pieces out. He's got 3 pieces out.
Yeah,
you're both castled, but he's the one with the pawn in the center, and you're not. It goes like this. Okay, and here a little pin. He's just causing you issues, isn't he?
He was trying to harass me a little bit.
He was. Queen b6 harassed your pawn on b2 here, and that is
and I fell for that earlier. Well, not that same, but I got a rook trapped at one point. And I was like, how on earth did I miss that?
The thing is, this is a knock-on effect of your opening, right? This is a knock-on effect.
That's the Smith-Morrie, isn't it? You kind of give up that central control for the hope that you can rapidly develop, right? That was my understanding of the idea. And to kind of throw them off their kind of Sicilian main groove, let's say. But yeah, didn't work out in my favor, unfortunately. I did get to a point where my queen was harassed. I was struggling to develop because I was getting too worried. I had to run my queen around the board. So yeah, not an ideal place to be, I'd say.
But here, so you're forced to move your pawn, and then the knight gets pinned, and then look, now there's a potential. It's not quite working yet, but your bishop's nearly trapped in. He's taken all of the center, and this is and now knight c1 to kick the bishop out.
Yeah,
you have to do it. You have to do it, right? You have no choice.
No, it wasn't nice happy. Yeah,
this is a nice move.
I wanted him to hate me, basically, I guess. I had this idea, which apparently the engine then hated because there's all sorts of counterplay. But my idea was basically, if I can somehow get to if let's say black can move this turn, then the bishop's free. So create some pins.
I think I would have preferred here maybe knight d2. So first of all, bishop c5 if you ever need it, but knight d2, knight f1. I'm just trying to get this knight into the game somehow. Probably would have been a good idea. Getting ready to take this bishop off would probably have been a good idea. This kind of feels like you're attacking with a queen and bishop against his entire army, and it's probably not going to work for that reason. Although if this queen wasn't here, there'd be a nice tactic of rook takes bishop, rook takes rook.
That's what I was looking at. Yeah, I was like, I got that. Oh no, never mind.
Oh, you did it. Oh, that's what you did.
That's exactly it. That's why I, even though I didn't play brilliantly, I thought there was some great tactical ideas, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna brag about the fact that I had some decent. They didn't work out, but and it's a progress journey.
No, you've done really well there, to be honest. I don't think there's anything to be ashamed of. I mean, you're not going to know your openings as well as a FIDE master who's been playing chess for 50 years.
Oh wow,
50 years maybe. He's been playing chess for, and we're talking top level chess maybe for 40. Or maybe even less than more than that. I don't know. So let's have a look how you did against the Tiger in this white opening. So so we had a different. You changed your opening as white. Then you didn't play the Smith-Morrie this time.
I played the Smith-Morrie because I was like, I'm 4-0 down right now. let's try and shake things up, go aggressive. I went for a Rosalimo, mainly because I got crushed by it. And I was like, well, I watched a Naroditsky video, and I was like, I'd like to give this a go. I found it really interesting, and I thought the ideas behind it were quite fun. And it got me to a position I didn't hate, not too dissimilar to a Vienna that I normally play.
Yeah.
Obviously, the only difference is the E-pawn's still there, but or the E-pawn's still on E7. But it got me to a position where I was like, okay, I got some ideas. I didn't mind F4 at the time. I think that ended up being a bit of an annoying move.
It's a slight thing. You don't want to lose the bishop, do you, for the knight?
No,
what's this?
Right, I had like what I thought was the most amazing move ever, and I was like, oh, I played that, and then literally the second I clicked, I was like, oh wait, that just doesn't work, does it? You could just take the bishop. Then I'm just down a piece. Hindsight's 2020. Yeah, at that point I was like, well, maybe I'll just play on for a little bit, see what happens. Maybe I can.
Yeah, and against the tiger.
I think I managed to push on for a couple more moves, but then as soon as he got here, I was like, well, I lose the rook, and I'm just going to get. I mean,
to be honest, you're trying out different openings. You're starting to kind of get the hang of things. Let's have a look at one of your black games then. Just while we're waiting. So we'll see it from the tiger point of view. So so we get a delayed kind of Alpin thing going on. The tiger knows this kind of stuff very, very well. But yeah, do you know what? You've got your pieces out. You didn't like the pin. So here I'll be focusing on this bishop. You don't need to go rook e8, I don't think.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I don't remember why I played rook e8. I think I was trying to over defend the knight. But
you want to play e5 for some reason. The problem for you here is that like d5 or e5 can come at any moment. You don't quite know which one's coming, and so it can sometimes be a little scary. So you're trying to clarify the position in the center. But you know what? Here at this point, you've not done much wrong, have you? Even g5, I don't mind this move at all.
Yeah, there was I can't remember where it was. Was it? I can't remember where it was. There was a yeah, that bad. One. That was it. Yeah, rook c7. That was it.
Allowing the invasion on c7 is.
I can't even remember why I moved it. I think I was just trying to. That knight was annoying me. I was like, let me get rid of it. But I probably should have played something.
Why are you not developing this bishop simply to here?
I don't know why. And then the rook to c8.
But you've been told about this. Develop all your pieces, right? This is the first thing you're told about, and everybody does this. Everybody does it. You get taught to develop all your pieces. And you go, yes, I've heard that. I know what to do. And then you go and play a game. And guess what? You don't develop all your pieces. Everybody does it. It's crazy. It's sometimes chess is so simple, but it isn't, because we've all got our plans in our heads, haven't we? We've all got things that we want to do.
No, exactly. In a game where there's and then at that point, then I had to, and then it's the down, and then it was like, okay, I think if there was anything I could do, it was like, okay, I will. And I just lost. I was losing piece here, I think, again. And I was like, well, I'm not playing that on. Okay. Not gonna waste Greg's time. Not gonna waste mine.
Not gonna waste Greg's time. I mean, it's of course we wanted you to be available for the stream at 8:00, even though we started at 7:30, right? I mean,
that's all right. Yeah, I'm still here.
My fault, I think. I'm afraid. No. Apologies, everybody. My microphone. So let's have a look at your second black game. So here, okay, we got the. I mean, he doesn't do this normally, right? This is not how the Welsh Tiger plays over the boards.
I think he's playing aggressive, trying to get some quick wins in.
He's deliberately trying things out. He's trying things out. He knows what he's doing. He's like, I'll get my queen out and attack this guy. And he's looked at your 8 and he thought, oh, okay, so you tried something here.
Well, it was either the knight's gonna move somewhere. Well, the knight's got nowhere to go, really. So I might as well try and get 2 pawns for it, but it didn't. I don't think it worked out in my favor.
So here you go, knight h5 attacking his queen.
Yeah, I got shouted at after I checked the chat after the game, because I closed the chat during the games, obviously, and there's a delay on the stream. And Duke's like, did no one ever tell you not to move the same piece twice?
But the thing is, though, you see here, you think you're at the opening, but you're still kind of in the opening. Again, your bishop on c8,
I literally was saying, maybe I should start playing the French or something, because that bishop I just seem to not want to do anything with.
Do you know what? Tell Bulanov that you want to play the French. That is music to my ears, Lightbringer.
I have considered the French. I messaged you about it before Christmas, didn't I? I was saying, you know what? If you know anyone who knows the French quite well, then
there you go. Then you did try a sneaky little discovered attack on his queen here though with d5, which is quite nice.
Yeah, I got lied to. Isn't en passant meant to be forced? Isn't that the idea? No. Well, I've been lied to by Gotham Chess.
It's a choice. You don't have to do en passant.
Yeah, my chat was screaming about it. No, of course not. No, it was a meme it's a meme that we used to all talk about in the little chess club that we had.
Right.
It's like an old meme I find on some chess meme pages.
So here, the tiger could have just taken the pawn here, couldn't he? I think.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I wonder why he didn't do this. Right, let's check on our two finalists to see if they're starting again.
I'm hearing some clacking in the background on my computer.
On your thing, so they must be going. They're just ignoring me and just saying, right, we want to play. They're cracking on with it, aren't they? Right, okay. So, so it's 2-2 at the moment. This is the final of the Welsh Esports League, the Premiership bracket for the top two spots. And okay, they've been going for a few minutes now. Don't reply to me anymore. They've just started straight away. And okay, just in case you're just joining us, we had a win by time, so we had a void game. So Ethan's only on 2 points there. So it's over 8 games, 5+3. If it finishes 4-4, we will go to Armageddon. And I am able to set a timer where white gets 5 minutes and black gets 4 minutes. So I will check the rules and check the pairings to see who has white in that game. But here we have. Just quick count up of pieces here. Lightbringer, are we level?
I think the pieces are equal right now. Okay. Yeah, could be fine. I think I can see everything, and it looks it's interesting. And that C pawn looks like it could be a bit dangerous in a bit as well, doesn't it? I think it's I
mean, Pedrada here is like his knight and his bishop are kind of. I don't think they're that good at pieces. I mean, maybe I was thinking he was going to take on e7 actually, but I actually prefer, like you mentioned, this c pawn could cause a lot of damage coming home, and
definitely
Pedrada would be relying on some tactics against the Black King, but this knight on e5 just guards f7. I can't see. Oh, hang on, the d6 pawn's under attack as well. So you see here, that's why Ethan's playing super aggressive chess and attacking everything he can. But is this bishop running out of squares? I mean,
it's looking very dangerous for that bishop.
But also you could take here, and then you've also got passed pawns yourself. So it's going to be a case of who he could also take on g4, and then when the knight takes back, he can then take an f7. The knight's overloaded, so he's got some checks. He's got a lot of things that he can sack. So he's probably just weighing that up. Both of them have got more time on the clock than we're used to seeing. So we're going to see who plays this endgame better. Opposite colour bishops, really important point here as well. So we're going to see. Wow.
I learned that recently when I was having my game. Actually, it might have been a game against Ivan where I think he had a pawn, a bishop, and a rook, and I had a rook and a bishop as opposite color bishops, and then I had an entire masterclass on how to draw the game that I should have drawn that I lost when I blend. But it's a learning experience, right? That's the best way to do it. Learn from real games, and so it was interesting.
So for people that don't know opposite color bishops, if you're just left with the opposite color bishops and pawns at the end, then if somebody's got an extra pawn, even 2 extra pawns, sometimes it can still be drawn. However, well, actually, most of the time it's still drawn with best play. However, with extra pieces on the board, even with just the rooks extra here, this can still be extremely dangerous. I don't think we're going to see it in this position, though. I think we might actually see a draw here, because I think that this pawn's going to claim this bishop. But I think this bishop's going to do a taking here, check, and then this pawn will move to actually stop this black pawn actually getting home. I think we could get another draw, but I mean, maybe one of them's trying to win it here. He sacked. Whoa! And then gone c3. Does that work? Oh, Ethan RJ, if that works, that is amazing. What he's just done. Does it work? And he's got a... and then he's got to try and win the endgame. I think it might be a fortress. So for example here, the rook can't stop the pawn getting home, but he's going to have to give the rook for the pawn. But black has to win, and he can't win unless he gets a pawn to the end of the board. And so does one of these pawns, how can he promote? And it's actually going to be, I don't know how he can actually get past, because he can't win with just the H pawn because it's on a light square. And you need the light square bishop, not a dark square bishop. So the H pawn doesn't win. So the only pawn to win with is this one. But I don't know how he takes this pawn on G2. And actually, maybe Pedrada, maybe should keep his king back here. But I think he's going to try and support these pawns going forward, which might be a little bit of a mistake. I don't think he should give up trying to win this and just hold it. This is high level chess, by the way, knowing about fortresses and stuff like this. Because the problem is, if the king's on H1, the black king comes around to here, but you can never take G2. You can never take it because the king's on H1. If you take away these two squares, then it's stalemate. So there's nothing that can happen. But Pedrada's gone, probably saving that in reserve. But he is risking losing this by bringing his king so far forward here. He should just march his king back in. I think he's just lost it there. You know.
That doesn't look ideal, does it?
No, I think he wants his king on H1. I really do.
Yeah, because the D pawn falls.
Oh, that was the mistake. So here at this point, now it's drawn. I think it's drawn if he keeps his king here. I think it's just drawn. Oh no, it's not. Or is it? No, it's not. So if black can get his king to F2 here with a king on H1, he has to play G3. And then he can take it with the king, and then the G pawn will promote. But I thought that Ethan had messed it up there because I thought he needed to put the bishop on H2 to prevent the king getting to G1. But this is not a fortress because the G pawn can still move. So Ethan could be about to take the lead. I think this is one.
This is some crazy endgame stuff going on right now, right? Like this is What has he done? Oh, he's pushed. Whew. Okay, so this is one now. This is easily one. Yeah, easily one. Whew, I thought you were going to take that and draw it. This is easily one now. Yeah, he doesn't even need to think. It's an easy one game. So wow. So the over the board lower rated player, the lower title player, the candidate master, debut season from Ethan RJ, has taken the lead 3-2. Wow. Absolutely huge for the artists who are absolutely loving it right now. I should imagine. Your Discord going off in the background, or is that mine? I hope not. My Discord. If it is, let me just put myself on.
It doesn't matter. I'm just wondering. I only worry in case somebody's messaging me, right? And I'm thinking, am I missing the message? But it's not. That's okay. This is amazing. So Pedrada, last season's champion, comes in at the final round to replace Bulanov. Is up against it here. We are 3-2 to Ethan RJ of the Artists against Pedrada of the Sea Dragons. And here we have a London system from Ethan RJ already. So
we've seen a lot. I think this is the third game we've seen today with a London from this match.
It might well be. It might well be. This is... I've seen a lot of people seem to be playing it now. I mean, I saw it quite a lot. That a lot of younger people are taking it up. And
you can thank Gotham Chess for that one.
You can't you? Obviously, very popular streamer. But or maybe we can thank Bulanov for it. Maybe he was the one that popularized it.
That's it. You know what? Yeah, that'll be it.
That'll be it. Yeah, but to be fair, didn't Ding Loren play it in the World Championship match a few years ago and actually get a winning position from it?
You know what? It's going to show my let's say noobiness. When I started playing chess, Ding was world champion.
Wow.
That's what we're talking. Like my first world championship I ever watched was watching Gukesh.
Yeah, I mean,
that was a fun game to watch.
This world championship is obviously up in the air at the moment with Magnus Carlsen advocating the throne, and we've got all these random players that keep winning it, and I think Gukesh has got the right mannerisms for it, but he plays the London from time to time, I think, as well.
I think he does, yeah. He hasn't also been playing so hot recently, I don't think.
He's played at Wizard Z recently, but he didn't win the tournament. But I don't badly, but he didn't do amazingly, shall we say, for it. But here we have just a small thing that Black's got the double pawns, but he's going to be able to get rid of one of them here on d4. So Pedrada's going to be happier here because, well, maybe not actually, because the dark squared bishops are definitely going to get swapped off. These two are, somebody's going to take somebody at some point. They can't avoid that. And maybe this knight will possibly just plonk itself on e5, and the light squared bishop might not actually have a good diagonal to go on at the moment. So I'm going to see whether this knight on f3 here or this bishop on d7. I don't quite know here what is going on. Between this knight and this bishop. Like, for example, if it was me, c5, obvious move, but I want to get this bishop to here, to kind of cut down on this white's king, so it can't castle kingside. By the way, Lightbringer, are you checking the Twitch chat, by the way? Is there anything going on there?
I haven't actually looked at the Twitch chat once. I probably should. I've been too distracted by the chess. Do you want me to give you some? I'll give you some updates, don't worry.
Yeah, give us some updates, just in case.
What's going on? Everyone's just saying how awesome they think I am. No. We've got a lot of things. We got, we do have some people hyping up the goats. Someone's saying, Rod is saying Bulanov's changed names. Come on, Ivan. But the last message we get is Ivan RJ Ali, which is a bit of my father's tongue in there. But yeah, let's go, I guess. Ivan RJ. It's quite nice. It's all not an underdog in the same level that someone here was an underdog, but it's still almost like an underdog game, right? We've got an IM versus a CM. Again, the ratings don't show that, but I guess.
No, so. I mean, to be honest, though, obviously, Pedrada is the current Welsh champion. As well over the board, highest title player in Wales. We don't have any Grandmasters. Wow. We've got a few kind of IMs that don't play anymore, shall we say, so they're inactive. But one IM who's dropped down the ratings as well. But so he is, so to speak, the best player at the moment in Wales. And Ethan's the young up and comer, and he's gained a lot. Recently went a little bit back down. But I know that he's eyeing up the Welsh Championships over Easter, or at least he should be, to see what he can do. And there's this whole big story, Lightbringer, behind it all. We've got the Welsh Championships where we're going to have everybody together in person, and then it's going to form selection. Like how we do in that tournament will form selection for the Olympiad in Uzbekistan in late August, September.
That's going to be exciting games to see.
And I tell you what, the selection for that is going to be really, really close. And as well as a lot of people fighting for only 5 spots in the open team. That's going to be really good. Who do you like in this position, white or black?
I'm going to be honest. I'm quite liking black right now. I think I wouldn't mind. There's a lot of ideas. There's some good squares. I feel for black, probably not now, but there's the bishop can quite comfortably come down on that light diagonal, put a bit of pressure on the knight eventually. There's nothing that can really remove it. I mean, obviously, maybe not now, but in the future, that obviously the knight could just move if needed to. But even now, then again, there's the idea that it could come in pinning. Well, it looks like it could just pin the knight quite comfortably to the rook, and then
it doesn't get anything though, because if you take it and pawn takes, you're not really, even though you're doubling pawns, you undouble these pawns on the g file. Like this pawn would go here on g2 to f3, so it doesn't really help.
Could there be something like bishop g4 and then e4 coming afterwards to
try
and keep that away, maybe? But then again, you've got knight d4, haven't you? So
first of all, he'd move the rook out of the way as well to avoid any nonsense, but knight d4 at the moment works because it attacks the queen at the same time. The key thing here is activity. You're absolutely right to like black. First of all, this pawn chain with these 2 pawns in the center, so all the pawns are super solid. The bishop and the pawns protect each other really good, so good control there. And just look at the activity of the rooks, bearing down on these white pawns, causing some problems. And the problem for Ethan here is that his rooks are not doing the same thing to black. So he's on the defensive here. He's going to need something. You see him going into the tank now. We haven't seen Pedrada with more time than Ethan, have we? We haven't seen that very often.
No, not once.
He's normally down to 30 seconds going, what's going on? My opponent's playing too fast.
Yeah, it's been some very fast. And I guess also a bit different for Pedrada because when he was playing last season, it was rapid.
It was, yes. So he had more time to think and to play some, shall we say, higher quality chess, perhaps, but for the time that you're allowed, time trouble is really making it more interesting, I think, because we're getting a lot more, especially in these close matches. Like, you think about the match between Bullanov and Marine last week, amazing time. And actually, that's one thing I was going to pick you up on, wasn't Marine? Mr. Jukes was actually in your chat saying something about the psychology. That must have been a bit poor from a bit interesting for him. Could you ask him about what his psychology was last week when he lost 3 games on the bounce to lose the match?
Sorry, I'm not trying to start any conflicts here. Right?
I'm all about the conflicts, trying to stir the pot as much as possible. Is what we're trying to do. Just a little tactic there from Ethan that got spotted. Knight d4 takes, and then the rook was going to take the bishop. So therefore, the knight would have been forking the bishop on e6 and also the rook on b3 at the same time. It was spotted by Pedrada. And this is what I think Ethan has to try now, because he is going to be just throwing tactic after tactic after tactic at Pedrada, because his position is not one we want to be in. Although it's not easy to see how Black wins this, though. Tactics time. Why can't he do pawn takes pawn?
Pawn takes pawn. That would be bad.
Why
don't I see anything? Pawn takes pawn. I can't really see anything. I can see. Well, I can see that obviously. Then the knight's not even hanging. But then again, the rook would be the discovery.
Because the discovery, the bishop would have been able to come down and take the white rook that was on a2, which is why he's moved the rook to a4. And now Pedrada's thinking, like, he tried this cheap shot. Did he want his pawn on d3? Is this pawn going to get wrapped up, or is it going to be super strong? It's going to be one of the two. I think he wants to keep that pawn personally, but which is why he's defended it with the bishop. And it could be super strong, actually, if he's able to get e4 and then able to keep that as it is. I think, though, it's not plain sailing, because the knight comes to h4 to take the bishop off, and then the rook would be attacking the pawn on e4. But Ethan's gone defensive he's gone defensive down here instead. He does not want to lose the pawn on b2, and he's basically saying to Pedrada, I'm going to sit like this. I'm going to do nothing. Beat me.
Just shove some pieces around a little bit and see what can happen, right?
Yeah. He might end up moving his king side to side at some point and go, I'm just going to do nothing. It's your job to come and beat me, because you can't take on b2. You can only attack it twice with your rooks. I've got it defended with my rooks. And I think the kind of thing that Pedrada will do is, like, he'll march his king to c4 or something like this, then maybe to a6 and get ready to take this a5 pawn off, like rook b5, and then something like that. But that could happen. That's a risky move from Ethan, because now he's got to watch out for e3 at any moment. Could come in, but Pedrada's just keeping those pawns there. I think Pedrada could level up the match here. I think Ethan's got his work cut out to draw this, but I might be wrong. Maybe that white king's going to be super quick coming in.
I mean, is f4 a move to think about as well at some point, or
for which colour was that?
f4 for black, just then to then push the pawn on.
The problem
e3.
was that the pawn could take f takes e4. That's the problem, because you did want to play f4, but you couldn't because you'd lose.
No,
the
of course,
pawn. But here, Black's king comes forwards. I don't know what happens next. This is anybody's game, but time could be a factor. Oh, we missed this one. Rook e4, so he's going to take b2, but he's going to lose e4. He's going to lose d3 as well. But then again, white's going to lose g2 at the end of this too. This could be very crazy. So we missed this rook a4 move. Brilliant by Ethan. He's wondering now, should I swap rooks? Or should I... Oh, he's kept the rooks on the board because Black's king is a bit exposed here. There's going to be a lot of checks coming its way, I think.
Yeah, it looks... I'd be scared right now.
Yeah, this is crazy. Anything can happen. I'd actually say that this is turned on its head, actually. And actually, Ethan's the one trying to win now. Oh, and that actually wins if he takes the pawn.
Yeah, yeah.
Not
Do
gonna-
you have Rook takes G6? Is it?
Yeah, so he would have had Rook takes G6. Your king would have to go here to stop the Rook being lost, and then you'd have checkmate. So you couldn't do that. So he's gone the right way. His king looks pretty safe though for now. But this passed C pawn, meaning that it is 3 pawns each, but White's going to try and get this guy to home. His king's more centralized. Is that a positive thing? Well, it should be.
Didn't he miss mate in 1 just now?
Who?
To White. Didn't he have Rook
Oh!
H5?
Oh!
I had to go over to it and then just quickly flick on the analysis to make sure I wasn't daydreaming. I was like, oh, perfect,
days.
mate. Can I just say, like, look, Lightbringer found a mate.
Lightbringer. So hang on, you've got one FM here commentating, and I am in a CM playing. We've all missed it, and there was checkmate in 1, and Lightbringer finds it.
Because the pawn's pinned, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. That would have been it. That would have been checkmate in 1. Lightbringer.
Ivan must be kicking himself now.
Free title players miss it, and
I'm telling you, Wales next GM's right here. God,
so
this feels tense.
So actually, he's got a draw here. Actually, Pedrada has, which is what he's thinking about, because he can easily take the draw, and there's nothing. Well, no, maybe the king can maybe slip out, but there's potential for a draw there. So he's thinking about, do I take that? Because he's weighing up the endgame after taking here. The king takes the rook, and then he takes the pawn on g4. But then Ethan's got the pawn on a7. Can he draw that endgame? I think he can, personally. But it's weighing up whether that's the best thing to do for him. I think it is, I think
a lot of calculation going on right now, isn't there?
He might not even need to take the pawn on g4. He maybe. He's got the draw this way, has he? But then again, the king's going to come this way, so. Oh no, it can't come this way because Rook takes g4 then. Comes with tempo. Oh, so Pedrada's playing for a winner here. Rook c2, he had the draw.
It's getting interesting now, isn't it?
He had the draw. He says, no, I don't want to draw. Which, by the way, he does say things like that. I offered him a draw at World Championships a few years ago, and he was like, no. He's dead. Really nice guy to talk to.
Oh, he's lovely. Yeah.
He did not want to draw with me, and then 2 moves later or 3 moves later, had to accept that it was drawn. But this was risky. I don't know why he's not taking the draw there. That seems like a crazy decision. He thinks that he can outplay Ethan here, and this should be just completely drawn, to be honest. Although White's pawn is further advanced, so he's not. It's just going to be a draw, I'm afraid. Both pawns will claim the rooks, and Pedrada is still going to be behind here. Okay, yeah. So Ethan's happy, and that is.
There we go.
Yeah, wow. So what's that? 3.5, 2.5.
3.5, 2.5.
Ethan RJ, the artist, he moves inches half a point closer to this victory, and it would be an amazing victory if he's able to pull it off. Kind of the underdog. Actually, you think about it, you go back to round 1. Do you know how Ethan RJ went on for the artist in round 1, Lightbringer? Do you know what happened?
I don't think I should probably go back through some of the games.
Well, you should do, because he actually lost to Bulanov in round 1. So this is why, backstory to what's happened here. Bulanov beat Ethan RJ in the group stages. Ethan RJ obviously not happy with this, comes back the week after and beats the Welsh Tiger by a big margin of 3.5 to qualify in the top 2 of his group alongside Bulanov. But then, when it comes to playing Bulanov again, Bulanov can't make it, and it upsets last season's champion Pedrada here to come in, who's higher rated than Bulanov, and should be playing the better chess. But while Bulanov could beat Ethan RJ in the first matchup, here Pedrada is behind. He's 3.5, 2.5 behind, and I'd be very very happy if Ethan wins. I'd be happy either wins, to be honest. I'm not, but I quite like the fact that somebody comes in on the debut season and then was up against it from their first match when they lose, and then they come back to win the whole thing. I think the artist crowd would go wild if this happens, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. It's very very exciting to see, and it's nice to see. I don't remember if Ethan was playing last season. I don't think if he was, I didn't play him. It wasn't. So that's also, like you said, brand new. And then you literally almost have to. It almost feels like World Championship style, isn't it? The defending the defending champions come in to defend their crown, albeit under another team. And he's not making it easy for him, is he? So it's exciting.
No, not at all. I bet Pedrada's wondering what's going on here, because he's usually, I think he's quite good at the faster stuff, actually. I mean, I've seen his rating as high as 2700 before, by the way, so I don't know what's going on with his rating. You know, I've seen him up there. Similar to Ethan RJ, maybe he's playing in a few more, not playing in Title Tuesday enough or something like that, but we see Ethan RJ, by the way, taking a massive, aggressive kind of opening option here against Pedrada. Massive open H line.
Yeah, that scared me.
It scares me just looking at it. I'm not even playing. It's like, why would we go down like this? It reminds me of the first time I played against Pedrada, actually, with a similar type of opening, and I could have sacked a piece for 2 pawns and got an open H line like this for it, and it was actually good. And I didn't do it, backed out of it, and then did something else to try and make it better, and then lost miserably. That's how it went. Yeah, but I mean, look at Pedrada's time now. He's not exactly.
He's doing okay for time right now, I think. Again, he's kind of reclaiming that blitz mentality in a sense, let's say, because like I said earlier, he was playing maybe not so fast, and now we're seeing him up over a minute now.
Yeah, maybe this is a change in strategy then, because maybe he didn't realize that even RJ is actually very fast at moving. He can get down to a really low time. And he's starting to realize he can't let himself get under 30 seconds against this opponent. When his opponent's got like a minute and a half, he's going to lose games if that happens. So he's maybe made a mental note to actually play a little bit quicker, put the pressure on Ethan RJ to come up with something. So, for example, I don't know what Ethan RJ is thinking about now. What's he thinking about? He needs to play a move, put the onus on Pedrada to come up with something. He's just wondering what to do, but this isn't.
It's not a lot.
It's not exactly a long play game, is it? We've got to do a decision, and he gives up the H line. Big decision. The rook was looking beautiful on H8, and he's just said, "You know what? I can't do anything with it. Gonna get castled." It makes sense to me. Would you have done that, Lightbringer?
Well, I probably wouldn't have opened up my H line, to be honest. So, I mean, if I was in an unfortunate position, I mean. You've seen how I play. You've seen the openers I play. If I'm in a position where I can attack and I can fight, I'm fighting. So I'd be looking to do something crazy. But again, I guess there's also an opportunity really to castle queenside. There's almost quite a lot of pieces facing in that direction. I'd then be scared to castle queenside, and I'd be thinking, well, I've got to castle eventually, right?
Well, you don't have to. Maybe leave it in the center.
Right. I have a friend who refuses to castle when he plays against me, one, because he's a bit better than me, a lot better than me, but also he just does it out of principle. He just doesn't want to castle when he can attack. That's his play style. He's like, I don't need to castle if I can attack. I'm like, to be fair, I've won like a few games because he's thought like that. But it's the most annoying thing ever when your friend's king is still on E1 after you've played a whole like 35-40 move game in your lunch break, and he's won. So
I mean, the problem with that thinking is that you have to be flexible with what you do, and sometimes you can get away with not castling, but most of the time we've learned over hundreds of years of playing this game that you can't. And so there's probably ways for you to punish him, actually, maybe a bit more earlier on.
Yeah, we've got a round robin at work at the moment going on, and I'm hoping I get paired against him, because I've been figuring out how he plays, and we've had some very, very close games, and my win rate's going up against him finally. So
good to
that's
see.
Exciting.
Yeah, I think Pedrada's happier here at this moment in time.
I would be.
I think he's loving this B file. That he's got a little invasion going on. This is a typical Pedrada type position. Like the knight coming back to H7. The knight's out of play at the moment. He loves his fee and Chesso bishops, does Pedrada. Loves them. And he's just keeping this knight on B8, protecting this pawn, just saying, you just stay there, stay back on your home square, otherwise I might win a pawn at some point. And Ethan's here trying to get it out. If he brings it to C5 though, which is a good square for the knight, the problem is now a rook's going to have to defend the pawn on C6 from the bishop. And do you want a rook doing that job or a knight doing that job? So you see here, look now.
Yeah, it's getting a bit.
This pawn's under attack. What's he going to do? He doesn't want to push it forward because that will mean that he'll be able to play knight d5. Now, has he just given up that pawn, or is it me?
I'm trying to see if I'm missing something. Like, is there any counterplay to that? No, I'd say that looked quite free.
Yeah, and look at the time again. He's still got over 4 minutes left. This could even up the match. Pedrada's definitely in the ascendancy here. All his pieces... What? He's come back this way? I was not expecting that. Why did we go bishop d5?
And what's our score right now? We're 3.5, 2.5, right? So we've played 6 games so far. Is that it? Is my maths right? Am I mathing that correctly?
Yes, you're mathing that correctly.
That's never happened before.
Oh,
that's fun.
This should be game over now. He's gone. He's a pawn up and an exchange up. But then again, Pedrada saved the same thing, didn't he, against Ethan RJ before?
That's true.
But I don't think Pedrada will... Well, I would hope he wouldn't make the mistake, because this would make it an even more exciting matchup. And also, I could go and tell my wife, who I said, oh yeah, I'll only be about an hour and a half at 8 o'clock too. And wow, game over.
Yeah, I said I'll be off by 9.
I'll be off by, yeah, I know, I'll be off then. Oh wow. I mean, I'm just going to message them both as well to say, if draw, I need to set Armageddon, and I need to go and have a look. So it's 3.5 each. This is the match. Ethan RJ with white. Wow, this you couldn't have brought it to a more of a climax.
They've got to play for a win, surely, right?
Well, actually, no, because actually, I'm just about to say that you couldn't make it more of a climax. But actually, if they drew and we went to Armageddon, then that would be even incredible. More of a climax. That would be absolutely insane. So
if anything, that might favour Ivan actually at this point. Ivan, right? Because he's been playing very fast and.
Yeah, I mean, it's the. Let's just have a look in the Premiership eliminations. So the Sea Dragons are listed on top. So they're going to get. So it's the Pedrada's going to get white. If it does go to a draw and it is Armageddon, and we would actually have Pedrada with 5 minutes, has to win with white against Ethan RJ with 4 minutes, is that? But Ethan RJ with the black pieces would be able to draw the game, and that would actually be the most insane finish that we'd ever have if this game is drawn.
Well, I've seen stranger things happen, right? So,
well, I don't know. I think, I mean, the thing is though, Lightbringer, I've got 2 games to prepare for tomorrow.
Oh my goodness. Can you count this as study?
I'll try and count this as study, but we were a little delayed starting, weren't we? I don't know what happened with the pairings, why they just couldn't click rematch and just go, which was really annoying.
Yeah, it's pot luck, isn't it, when you're playing when you set up a final, right? That's how it always goes.
It's just the way it goes. But okay, let's have a look at this position. What did we get again? Okay, so we got a typical a Catalan kind of setup from Ethan RJ. It's 2 bishops each on the board. It's very, very, very dry at the moment. Maybe they both want Armageddon. I don't know.
It's when we see the draw agreed right now. That's when we'll be like, okay, they want Armageddon. They're sat there in a Discord call. Should we go to Armageddon just to really, really, really take some time up on the stream?
I think we need to ask the chat. Chat, do we want Armageddon? Do we want this to be a draw, and for it to go to Armageddon to decide the title of the Welsh Esports League? Because that would be insane if it did.
Someone's saying tables have been getting flipped. EsportsWales has said, can't he trade to win? That must have been from the last game. I need to do a better job keeping an eye in chat. Maybe let me pop that out in a better way.
Maybe I should look at it too. But I mean,
you got chess to prioritize. No one wants to hear my commentary.
Well, no, we do. That's why you're here. That's why you're here. And been a very good addition, especially for the goats as well. You really put them on the map for this tournament too. Always look to see how they're doing as well. So some interesting, I think, as well, just casting our eyes forward as well. Obviously, it'll be in a few months' time for obviously season 11, the Welsh Esports League, and obviously the fresh chess thing. Really would like to see more teams get involved in trying to pick some of these players up and trying to commit them to the 4 weeks and, really get that commitment from them, because I think we didn't have much time this season, as we said at the start of the stream. with the turn of the new year. All this just came upon us, and there wasn't really much time to do all that. I think the teams were caught off guard as well with it too. So hopefully we get some of that next time as well. I don't think I'm going to be able to be drawn off the commentary position though, Lightbringer, in order to play. I think I'm going to have to stay being the commentator.
Yeah, you've given yourself a job, I'm afraid, there, mate. That's how it goes, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would fancy a go, but
maybe you could be the grand final. That's how we do it. Okay, if they really want the spot, they got to be. You can be like an exhibition match. That's what we should do. Get some content for the EsportsWales page. You can do an exhibition against the winner.
Or maybe we could do that on the Saturday night of the Welsh Championships. And
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
We could do something like that where we rematch some of these matches. Okay, I mean, look at the time for me here. If you're going to ask me anything,
yeah, that's what I'd be looking at mainly right now, in a position that looks kind of balanced. All right, who can get the good moves out better, quicker? Right, EsportsWales saying yes to Armageddon by the looks of things. By the way,
of course they would. Of course they don't care about how much sleep They don't care about how much sleep I get, do they? They're just like, keep doing that.
You got to have a priority here, Jonathan. I think that's what they're trying to tell you. Well, over a tournament as well. We took up the artist very
here.
Last minute too.
The light square bishop's here, by the way. Ethan's got a better light square bishop because
I think so.
Pedrada's pawns are all stuck here on light squares, and so it's not easy to break through. So that's why he's having to think here. And there's kind of like some pawn moves here. Does he take this way? There's quite a lot of decisions to make, and I think Pedrada's just making it difficult for him to get through. But it's still very much. I wouldn't want to say that anybody was winning here. Slightly better for white. To be honest, for the last game, Lightbringer, I wish they would play a more exciting game. Actually,
I know. I feel like even I've seen positions like this before in my games.
Yeah, it does actually remind me of some games that I've seen of like my local club players where they swap off all the knights in the centre and then the bishops get swapped off, and then it goes like that. But these two are not shy. I mean, Pedrada's still got plenty of time here, hasn't he? He's not exactly under a minute yet, which is when it starts to get a little bit tense.
No, with increment as well. I'm sure we'll see things change if you find some good moves real quickly, get some pre-moves in. All sorts can happen.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it as well, this match, I mean, Pedrada saved a game, didn't he, earlier on when he was an exchange down?
No, that is true.
A piece down, actually, he saved that game. How crucial is that save and that resourcefulness that he has in it? So he's trying to. So what Pedrada's done here is basically saying, I'll let you take some pawns. So you can take these, but I'm going to go rook here, and I'm going to take both of these off. There's not much you can do about that. Is what he's trying to argue. And he just spots the idea. White wanted to play f5, and if pawn takes, bishop takes, and then this bishop would have been pinned by the rook. Sort of chaos, which is why he went g6 to prevent this from happening.
Off from the trade.
Do you want the queens off?
I never like getting my queen off if I can avoid it. Sometimes if I'm ahead, then all right, you can go. But...
Yeah, definitely. If you're ahead, swap queens off. And okay, Evan's turning the screw now.
Oof.
He's really coming for him. He says, "I want this." F5 is he's not messing around. He does not want half a point. He wants to finish it in regulation.
I like it. It's exciting. Do you think he's got the mindset of a champion then, do we think? Do you think a future world champion?
I think the way he's played in this so far, then he's definitely going for it. And okay, this piece sack, he's going for that king, and he's basically saying, I am going to win this here and now.
I know.
I don't know if it works, by the way. I mean, does it actually work? Does it actually work? I think it has worked. I think it's worked.
Yeah, this
I think that was
good,
a mistake by
right?
Pedrada.
That looks like a nice little advantage, right?
Yeah, so what? I'm trying to count pawns. I can't count pawns quick enough.
I think he's up 2, is he? Yeah, he's up 2 pawns.
Yeah, 2 pawns, but he's going to lose these 2 most likely. But there's a key point here is that this bishop is still absolutely horrific. I think he went wrong there, by the way. So the key test of bishop takes f5 is actually to take it straight away like this, and then maybe after rook takes happens, to then go king e8 to stay next to your queen. And I didn't know what was going on here, actually. This was the position that I was like, what is actually happening in this position?
Yeah.
Because the extra bishop here, he's not winning it back straight away. And I thought he might be okay here to play this, but Pedrada went a different route, and with queen takes, and maybe after this he just missed that he can't go king g7, because here Ethan RJ would have an extra intermezzo move and play rook takes bishop check first before recapturing the queen. And this check would save the bishop as well at the same time, which is why, and here we are. Let me just refresh, because Pedrada's down to under 20 seconds left on his clock here. He is in big trouble. Is Ethan RJ of the Artist about to win in his debut season and become the esports champion for season 10? Not yet. Pedrada fights on.
Oof. I was sure we were going to see some kind of resignation or something coming up, maybe, or something like that. But no, like you said, Pedrada, he's resourceful, isn't he? And he clearly doesn't like to lose, does he?
He definitely does not like to lose. He doesn't like to draw, let alone lose. I mean, losing is not in his vocabulary for this guy. I mean, it's a case now. Ethan's got plenty of time on the clock. He's definitely got a better position, a winning position, some might say. But in blitz chess, it's never easy. I mean, Pedrada's got threats, right? He's going to go here and here, and he's basically given the piece. He's given the bishop back. It's rook f7. He's going to take this bishop off, and Pedrada's just said, you know what, sack the piece, don't need it. It's my best chances to actually give up the piece and then try and charge this pawn down the board. Try and get those two rooks going again. It's worked for him before. Is it going to work for him again? Pedrada fighting for his life.
Especially with such low time on the clock, my heart would be pounding in this situation.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I ever did a blitz tournament. My first tournament was stupidly a blitz tournament. And I remember some of those moments of that pure anxiety. The heart's going, the palpitations are kicking in.
So we'd love to get this other rook involved, but if he goes rook f8 check, he's just going to go rook f7. If he keeps giving checks, then the king will actually come out. So that's why he's trapped the king on the back rank to give himself, if this rook can get free, he gives himself some back rank or kind of checkmate possibilities here. And he's just going to constantly try and attack here.
I mean, would it move like rook a7? Like just...
Yeah, but rook a7, rook b8, and then he's going to go back to f8, I think, here as well. Yeah, so he's trying to... So white has to put pieces on all three of these lines. He can't... I didn't know if he could block with the bishop there, to be honest, instead of the rook, just to keep the game going. Because this could be a draw if he... This could be Pedrada saving... No! Ethan's gone rook f2. He's gone rook f2. He's found a way.
He's really fighting for this win. He's like, I'm not giving you the repetition this time.
He's got him on the ropes. Can he put him down? This is super close.
What are we thinking? We're going to see this f-pawn marching up the board, do we think? The f-pawn, the h-pawn marching up the board? Or...
I mean, if it does, I mean, Pedrada might just let it and just take here and then march his own pawns down. You know, that's the danger, that, you know, the pawn might not win it for you. And here Pedrada's going to get his rook behind that h-pawn if he needs to. Or he's going to get his rook doubled on the back rank, actually, I think. I think that's what he wants to do. If king up, I think he's going to go rook c1. He's going to try and give perpetual from behind. This is so close. Pedrada, 8.8 seconds left on the clock.
This is
Ethan RJ trying to figure out.
Very tense.
So actually the king's going to escape this way. So I think Ethan RJ is just ahead at the moment. These checks don't work. They don't come and do anything. Oh, that's it.
And that's
the
it.
Time's gone. We have a champion. Ethan RJ of the Artists is the Welsh esports champion for season 10 of the chess. Absolutely amazing play, especially from Pedrada as well for stepping in today. Amazing fight. 4.5, 3.5 to Ethan RJ of the Artists. What a finish. I was not expecting the timeout there, were you?
No, absolutely not. I was expecting more checks coming in, but I mean, maybe Pedrada just thought, it's getting late. It's been a long game. He still played very well. We saw some incredible resourcefulness coming But I think at this point, yeah, let's call it a night and
let's call it a night.
Let's call it a night, bro. Let's call it. Yeah, I don't think unless Pedrada does have a chess tournament tomorrow that we don't know about.
No, he doesn't. No, I don't think so. My tournament is a rare one, but I mean,
okay.
it was. I tell you what. I mean, Pedrada did save himself before when he was completely lost as well. So you know, if you give that game to Ethan, then it would have been even more. But I think the better player won on the day. Pedrada just not at the races for this evening. Maybe not playing in the previous few weeks. Events meant that he wasn't as sharp as what Ethan was, because Ethan even started slowly, lost the ball in round 1, and then won the rest of his matches. He's beaten, he's beaten 2 players here. He's beaten the FIDE Master Welsh Tiger and International Master Pedrada here in his run. The artist must be absolutely loving it. Congratulations to you. Obviously, the Sea Dragons second place again with a different player this time in the final, but still a good showing as well. So massive thank you and well done to all of the players. And big thank you as well to Welsh Esports for running the chess too. Any final comments from you, Lightbringer?
I mean, it's just been an amazing tournament again. There's been so many amazing players in as well this time. Obviously, it's great to see the number of title players increasing in these kinds of things. It's also great because I think there was a couple of new players as well who, not titles, but hopefully some up and comers that we'll get to see in the chess world and see them in some congresses and some opens at some point. So if you're a beginner and you don't know if you can get involved in these tournaments, just do it. Even if you lose horribly every game, it's such a great experience. I would 100% recommend it.
Yeah, I mean, and massive thank you to you as well. I mean, I think probably what I would say the biggest discovery of these, our first 2 seasons in Welsh Esports League is actually discovering yourself.
Stop it.
I know.
You're being too sweet. Oh, going to make me cry.
No, but it is all about that, isn't it? It's about we want to discover new people through online chess as well, that we can meet up with. We all have this shared passion, and we all thoroughly enjoy it. And hopefully, we'll get some photos that we can send through to the Welsh Esports League of when we all see each other in person.
That'd be great.
Which would be great as well. So I'm looking forward to that too.
Just remember now, it's worth mentioning definitely for Ethan RJ, he's now won the #1 prize of all time that he gets to appear on Welsh Chess Chat, right? That's how it works after a while.
Well, I'm pretty sure
ultimate prize.
He's also a Welsh speaker as well, so it'd be even better as well.
Okay.
Maybe he'll start doing some interviews now that he's the Welsh Esports League champion as well, perhaps. I don't know. Maybe the artist will support that. He should start doing some interviews. I think it's a very worthy title, and congratulations to him. But thanks very much to all the players. Thanks to Lightbringer for joining me on the commentary and also playing.
Well, thank you as well.
Thank you
for the
thank you very much. Stephen Watley joined us in the first session as well, but thanks very much to the Welsh Esports League. Artists and Ethan RJ are the champions, and we'll hope to see you again in a few months' time for the next season. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.